can we apply the knowledge that we've learned to something that's slightly different? And that's how you continue to grow as a decision maker and hopefully gain confidence that you truly are.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Having lacking of problem solving skills can have a very bad impact in your mental health. I think that we see a lot of entrepreneurs out there that they are emotionally damaged, or emotionally they have a high impact emotionally because they are overwhelmed with so many problems, which is what it means being an entrepreneur. I think that every day is a problem or more than one, and you have to develop the skill, the ability to solve them or to start to work on the solution of all of them parallel, right? So it's not about solving even one problem. You have to have the ability to deal with this. And guess what? When you solve those ones, and new ones, they are right, they are already queuing. Um, However, if we don't get an effective way to solve problems, it can become that the entrepreneurs, they are ending up with a lot of stress. They All those problems get accumulating and accumulating and accumulating, and now 3 problems I cannot find the solution, 5 problems I cannot find the solution, 10 problems I cannot find the solution, and all these emotional pain can end up in physical pain. People can end up with heart attack, with cancer, with the stress. We have an entrepreneur that we interviewed here in this broadcast that he was turning over $1 million in 3 companies, and the guy was vomiting blood. And he told me, Harry, I decide this day that I run this business. The business they're not running me. And he took a plane. He went, I think, to Thailand for a year. So lacking of problem solving skills can lead to emotional pain and difficult pain. So what is the message that you have for the entrepreneurs out there that they're not even aware that that if you develop problem solving skills, you're gonna make your life so easy, and you're gonna be mentally more stable to run and to grow your business?
Well, I've worked with an awful lot of entrepreneurs over the years. And I think there's a couple things. The first is, until just recently, we haven't really thought of decision making as a discipline, which means most people will go through their formal education without ever really investigating their thinking. And that's one of the many reasons why I think podcasts and books are so useful to people. The things that we go through school that we've missed out on, we get another chance. We can be lifelong learners. And so I've written 3 books on problem solving that people can use to help them make their decisions. The first one is called Problem Solved, and it's on personal and professional high stakes decision making. And that introduces my area method that we just spoke about. The second book is called Investing in Financial Research, and it applies the area method to financial and investment decisions. And then my third and most recent book is called Problem Solver, and it is my research into what I call problem solver profiles. This is the psychology of personal decision making, and the idea that there's sort of 5 dominant ways that people approach their decisions, and each has some beautiful strengths to them, but they also each come with some limitations, some cognitive biases that can really impede clear thinking. And so better understanding your own decision-making approach and then learning a system for complex problem solving can be a game changer for anybody, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're doing something else with your career.
Decision making, one of the one of the more complex things to train and to deal with the entrepreneur. I remember I was about to speak in one event in London not long ago, and the speaker before me, he was talking about critical thinking, and he was talking about, you see, when you have to take this idea, you have to check this, you have to check that, you have to evaluate this, you have to evaluate this, you have to evaluate this, and after is when you take the decision. And I'm thinking, I'm saying, look, these guys sitting in this audience, they are entrepreneurs, they are startup founders. At the stage that they are now starting the business, if they go through this critical thinking process that you described, my friend, they will never gonna get anything done. You know, when you start, when you have a startup, you have to take decision quickly and a lot of them, because it's different dynamic. Of course, if you are on the CEO or board meeting of the large multinational, of course, you have a team, you can analyze all these variables, you can do all this research, and then you can make the right decision. But we need to put the decision making into context, because sometimes I speak in a lot of events all over the world, and I see people talking about this topic, and it's not that they don't know about the topic. I believe that they know a lot, but sometimes you have to be careful to which audience you share this, because there is a lot of different, in my opinion, critical thinking method when you are a startup founder, when you have 10 employees, when you have 100 employees, when you have 10,000 employees. But I don't know. What is your point of view in this? This is a general point for critical thinking and for decision making, regardless which stage of the business you are, or do you think that it has to be? It's not the same when you have a startup that when you have 10 employees, when you are 100, and when you have. I'm telling you, that's my view as an entrepreneur, because
Yeah,
I've been in the other side. I've
I
been
think
a startup founder, and I've been in several stages of this process, and my decision making things vary a lot, depend the size of the company. That makes sense.
I don't think it has to do with the size of the company. I think it has to do with the stakes involved in the decision. I think there are some decisions where you don't want a system for complex problem solving. You want to make the decision, and if the decision goes awry, it's something that's reversible or changeable. And I think prioritizing and
And
understanding
quickly,
when
you know,
the
right? Quickly you
decision.
decide something, and quickly you know if it works, if it doesn't, and then you try something else. Yeah.
And
Uh,
that's why this whole ethos in startup land around prototyping is so important, right?
mm,
This idea that you don't need something to be finished, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
generally speaking, you want to be able to get into action. Even with very high stakes problems, if you know how to break down and frame them, you
Mm.
can probably identify the smaller pieces where you can move on them, even if there are other pieces that really deserve thoughtful research and analysis. But again, this comes back to thinking about your thinking, knowing how to problem solve, having a system that you can use for complex problem solving. I think of learning about the area method and decision making sort of the way you take vitamins, right? You take a vitamin every morning because you're looking to have a certain kind of underlying health, right? And then if there's a virus going around, hopefully it doesn't hit you as badly, or maybe even you bypass it and you don't catch it at all. But when you really need to know that you're building up that sense of wellness, you want to have something that you've invested in, like the area method or like decision-making skills that work for you, so that whether it's a problem that you need to move on quickly or not, you know what to call upon within your wealth of knowledge to help you be able to solve that problem.
Oh, problem solving, I think, I wish that they taught me this in university. Is my understanding, reading your, you're reading your bio, that you actually are teaching this in the university. What a great idea. Nobody taught me this in university. I had to to fight and to try to solve those problems, physics, maths, and biology, and whatever, chemistry. I had to deal with myself, and you know what happened? If I don't solve them, I fail. I fail. You know, they fail you. You have to pass them again, and again, it got a different test. Imagine, to the point that when I was in university, we had several teachers that was telling us, look, this test that you're gonna take about physics or about math, you can bring any book you want. It doesn't matter. Bring all your books. It's an open book. You can read all the books you want during the exam. I mean, the problem was so difficult that it was invented by the teachers. So there is you can bring all the books you want. It doesn't really matter because those problems that they will put in front of us, we had never. They knew that we never seen in our life because the teacher invented that just for the exam. So and then we were facing a massive problem that we don't know lots of them, and it was tough. And if you don't pass this thing, you have a second chance, a third chance, and that's it. Otherwise, you need to do the whole year of engineering again. So it's a lot of, at the beginning you got a lot of fear. If I'm gonna solve this, I'm not gonna solve. Sometimes you study, but I remember we were wondering what's the point to study if whatever the problem that's gonna put us, we never seen it anyway.
So I
So
think
tell
that,
us about
yeah,
how beautiful, how great idea to teach problem solving university, to the engineering school. Which faculty are you teaching to your students? What are
I've
they
been
from?
teaching at Cornell University and
And
also
what are they studying?
Columbia University. I just want to address your point about problems that you've never seen before. Again, if you know how to break down and frame and solve complex problems, it doesn't matter whether or not you've seen it before, right? So much of our education in school is not doing problems that we've seen, but it's adjacencies. It's really trying to ask us, can we apply the knowledge that we've learned to something that's slightly different? And that's how you continue to grow as a decision maker and hopefully gain confidence that you truly are a problem solver, because you are going to be your own chief decider for your whole life.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.